Hello, welcome to Stagehand, the show where we talk about things I learned or discovered or just the stage. I don't know. I really need to work this introduction. Okay, so you got a call. Like, WWE's in town and they call the local and they're like, we need 5 million people for next month and good luck. So naturally your theater friend's like, hey, please help. And reluctantly you're like, okay, fine, whatever. What do I wear? I got you. So whether you start out with like a concert or Broadway or SmackDown, WrestleMania, WWE stuff, it's gonna, same general principles apply. Now this is just load in and load out. This is not regarding show call. So when I tell people what to wear, I say you want to blend in but also stand out, which doesn't make sense, but let me explain. So picture this, you're walking into the stage or a venue that you've never been in before. You're like kind of somewhat excited because it's like, oh, I get to work backstage for this really cool event. And then you just look around and you see a bunch of men who are in their 50s or 70s and then a couple women. And then everyone looks like they haven't slept since like, you know, the dawn of time. And you're just like, I don't even know how I'm going to function for these next 4 hours. And you're also just like, I don't even know how I'm gonna ask a question to anybody. Someone tells you to go check in with a steward and you're just sitting over there like, who's steward? Anyway. What you wear can be a really amazing icebreaker. So for the shirt, I generally recommend one of these two things. Number one, a college shirt or sweatshirt. Now, I would really only recommend that if you went to that college and you're actually like proud of their theater program, if you have notable alumni from that theater program, like if you want your college to kind of speak for you a little bit, I guess. For myself, the technical director at my school at the time was a member of the union. I worked with him since I was like 16, and he was the one who kind of got me in the first place doing calls. So I wore that so that people would kind of know that I was in association with him. Now, the other thing I tell people to wear is a concert or band t-shirt. This is a shirt that I got from a concert I went to last May. And this is a shirt I got from working a concert that I've worn to multiple calls. As you can see, they look very, very similar. Just different bands. So that's part of blending in. But if somebody sees this and they're like, oh my gosh, I really love Wage War. Or they're also like, oh my gosh, I just remember working that concert like 5 million years ago. It could potentially start a conversation. So that's shirts. Let's talk about pants. So I wore overalls on day one, which very bold choice actually. You can wear them. They're amazing. I love them. I would recommend them to anybody and everybody, but also only a couple people wear them and some locals, so it's really just up to your discretion. Like I was one of the only people. But it's great now because more and more people are starting to wear overalls in my local, and we have this thing called the bib brigade. It's amazing. Now if you have them, I would recommend wearing like some sort of carpenter pants, or like these are Carhartt. Now you don't have to go to the store and buy new clothes for like your first couple of calls. You can wear jeans as long as you can move in them and you're fine with sweating in them. I've also seen members wear leggings and sweatpants. I would just personally recommend something that has pockets and something that has a belt loop, just because you never know what you might want to tie to that or just attach to it, especially if you are using a crescent wrench. Okay, so you got your pants, you got your shirt. What are you gonna wear in your feet? Now, non-negotiable, your shoes must be closed-toed. But beyond that, some locals will require you to wear steel-toed shoes, but my local doesn't, and I know some still don't require that. I would 100% recommend always wearing steel-toed shoes. Because you may be like, I'm so careful and cautious, I'm not going to hurt my feet. But there will be times when you're working with like 50 other people who have never worked this job a day in their life before, which means they don't always know that stop means stop. So you could be working out for a Broadway tour and have a set gondola run over your feet twice. But because you're wearing steel-toed shoes, they don't break. They're just bruised for an entire month. Ouch. These I did buy for my very first call. They're from Walmart, fairly inexpensive. They did the job. I've worn them for years. I still wear them, honestly. I still wear them to calls sometimes. The only downside is that I did sound like SpongeBob SquarePants whenever I took a step. Another thing you want to think about if you're going to go out and buy a new pair of boots for calls is if the boot itself is slip resistant. Because in most locals, there will be that one call where they say, you know what, your job is super hard. We do acknowledge that. We do know that's very dangerous as is. But we think it would be fun for you to do it on ice. And IATSE on ice is quite the spectacle, but you don't want to be the spectacle, so get good slip-resistant shoes. Anyway, I'm gonna make another part just going into some of what I wear now, some of the accessories that I have, some things I'd recommend you having that are not entirely necessary, so I'll release that sometime soon. Alright, stay spicy, y'all.